When something new is made available to the public, there are many confusing new words and terms that are hard to understand. Haven't you heard these brand new experts talk?
Oh, it's a great party, but I do wish they get rid of the transient distortion in that tweeter. It's annoying.
Well, that doesn't bother me as much as the peaks in the mid-range.
You're wrong. It's down 2 dB from 3,000 to 5,000.
I wouldn't say that, old man.
Hard double rumble.
Wait a minute. Were those terms confusing to you? They needn't be. High fidelity is merely the exact duplication of sound in the minutest detail. Sound that we hear every day. The ear hears a range of 10 octaves from the rumble of thunder and the lowest tones of a huge pipe organ to the tweeting notes of a piccolo. The conventional radio phonographs reproduce only 3 or 4 octaves. You may be listening to such an instrument right now if you're playing this record at home. But true high-fidelity systems reproduce at least 8 octaves. More elaborate and costly systems give you the entire 10. True component high fidelity delivers realistic reproduction of sounds. Musical sounds, the sound of the human voice, singing, speaking, sounds as they really are. Real true-to-life sound is the business of Electro-Voice. And that's why Electro-Voice and its dealers bring you this recorded presentation to clarify and explain the thrilling new world of high fidelity. Electro-Voice is qualified to speak on the subject because of its long history in the field of sound reproduction. Electro-Voice is known and respected by sound engineers the world over. It is Electro-Voice equipment that our armed forces in many cases depend upon for critical, difficult communications. In your everyday life, you're surrounded by Electro-Voice products, from the communication systems in planes, trains, and ships, to the microphones and speakers used by radio and television stations. Electro-Voice has been the leading producer of the finest audio components for American industry for over 30 years. Today, Electro-Voice is the foremost manufacturer of high-fidelity components, the individual pieces of equipment necessary to reproduce today's full-range recordings on tape or disc. Buying Electro-Voice components has these important advantages. You buy the product of a leading manufacturer, products designed by the largest staff of engineers devoted exclusively to sound reproduction. Quality and performance is maintained from the original concept to finished form to give you high performance, long life, and fine value. So come along on a down-to-earth and factual, though imaginary, journey to the wonderful land of high fidelity as the guest of Electro-Voice and your Electro-Voice dealer. The selection you have just heard may or may not have come to you with concert hall clarity because of the type of equipment on which it is being played. It does suggest, however, how rich and varied the sounds can be. You want and need equipment capable of reproducing music from a huge booming kettle drum or the insistent staccato sound of a snare drum, to the soft, mellow tone of a clarinet. To the almost human, full tone of a fine violin. Or the showy sound of a trumpet. Put them all together, record them faithfully, reproduce them with true fidelity, and you can hear the modern miracle of high-fidelity sound reproduction, if you have the proper equipment. One of the purposes of this record is to acquaint you with the really easy-to-understand components that go into the building of a fine high-fidelity system, and to demonstrate that you can enjoy Electro-Voice true high-fidelity. Your Electro-Voice dealer will be pleased to help you choose everything you need. Everyone can have true high-fidelity sound. Only 3 things are needed. First, you need a record player with a cartridge, preferably with a diamond needle. The cartridge and needle miraculously translate motion from the variations in the record groove into tiny electrical impulses. Second, you need an amplifier that multiplies these tiny impulses thousands of times and sends them on to the last and most important, the loudspeaker system. The proper loudspeaker system recreates the concert stage in your home. Imagine, you can start your record player and be in a front row seat of the opening of a Broadway production. Won't you look for a moment at the Electro-Voice catalog that accompanies this recording while we play music to listen to while glancing at an Electro-Voice catalog. Now imagine how much more exciting, how much more real the same selection could be if it came to you through a system that's capable of reproducing every note, every nuance, every sound. Let's consider the most important part of any high-fidelity setup, the speaker system. Electro-Voice speakers cover the full range of response. The tones of the world's largest musical instrument, the pipe organ, with its 16-foot and 32-foot pipes. This is sound you probably can't hear on your present equipment. Sounds that you literally feel. We'll try it anyway. But you'll probably be able to catch these middle ranges where we find the rhythm instruments in the concert orchestra, like the 36-inch bass drum, the long strings on the piano, the guitar, and the violin. You'll lose most of these high notes that add life and vitality to our music, like this. To further demonstrate the importance of full-frequency speaker response, or ability to hear everything an orchestra or the human voice can produce, let's listen for a moment to a piece of music that contains all those notes. Your catalog describes a deluxe system, the Patrician, which stands alone as the industry standard. It has the 4 basic speakers called woofer, mid-bass, treble, and tweeter. Now let's filter out all the notes except those in the very lowest range. This speaker is the woofer. Now let's filter out everything except the rhythm or mid-bass ranges. Ready? Mid-bass tones only. And now listen to the same piece of music as it sounds with only treble notes. Finally, try to hear the same passage with only the high notes reproduced on the tweeter. So now, you're an expert. You know what a woofer, mid-bass, treble, or tweeter all do. Lower-cost systems may have 3, 2, or even 1 speaker. But good high fidelity demands at least 2 speakers, even though the 2 are combined in a single unit. Put them in an Electro-Voice speaker enclosure, and you have a full-range sound system. It's worth repeating because it's very important. With Electro-Voice, you can afford a loudspeaker that provides the full range of reproduction. Look at your catalog. You'll see that in every size and price class, Electro-Voice offers 2 enclosure or cabinet choices, corner type or along the wall. For a modest budget, Electro-Voice offers the Baronet for the corner and the Coronet for along the wall. Or the contemporary styling of the Regal may please you even more. The Aristocrat is the next step up in size and price, and it's paired with the functional Marquis. Look at the beautiful Regency and the smartly styled Carlton, or you may like the exquisite Duchess. And then there are the truly deluxe corner systems, like the Centurion, the Cardinal, and the Georgian. For the most distinguished performance of all, and only for the most discriminating listener who demands the finest, there is the stately Patrician. Your Electro-Voice dealer will be glad to show you the model of your choice and advise you every step of the way. Electro-Voice is proud of its inventiveness and reputation. A reputation that goes back more than 30 years to the original carbon microphone. It sounded like this.
And in those roaring 20s, this was a spectacular achievement.
Many of the basic developments in sound reproduction and recording have come from the Electro-Voice laboratories, including fundamental design for modern microphones, the modern public address loudspeaker that matches outdoors, the high-fidelity reproduction that is reproduced indoors, the noise-canceling microphone, and countless others. Because of these years of research and development, Electro-Voice offers the ultimate in high-fidelity reproduction. Yet an even more startling adventure awaits you. Three-dimensional stereophonic sound by Electro-Voice. We certainly wish that by sheer magic you could experience the thrill of stereophonic listening right here and now. With stereophonic sound, you would be literally surrounded by living, breathing music. But that's the next step. The bright step you will take into the future with Electro-Voice equipment that's available now. Importantly, any Electro-Voice unit you purchase can be expanded to a more deluxe system and ultimately stereo without any obsolescence. How can you enjoy this experience? It's really quite easy. On the other side of this record is an exciting, complete demonstration of stereophonic high-fidelity sound and music. This is the new marvel in sound reproduction that gives you depth and direction. You'll hear the flight of an arrow as it leaves the bow and lands on the bullseye of an archery target. You'll hear a jet airplane pass into and out of your range of hearing, and many more. Yes, your Electro-Voice dealer invites you to live in and experience the wonderful world of stereo. Simply take this record to his showroom. Ask him to play side 2, and you'll experience an unforgettable thrill. Three-dimensional stereophonic sound by Electro-Voice. Do it right away and discover why there's no finer choice than Electro-Voice.